where are you in America? I have to ask, Kitty, where are you in America right now?
I'm in Laramie, Wyoming. We're on day 3. Let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No, we're on day 4. So this morning we're in Laramie. Tonight we'll be in Gothenburg, Nebraska.
All right.
So we're just trucking right along, and it's beautiful and sunny, and I think it's supposed to be pretty clear in Nebraska too. What I was really concerned about the first 3 states, Oregon, or the first 4, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, and Wyoming, because we're colder, we're mountainous, we've gone through one snowstorm only, and it was fine. It was just wet pavement, but heavy snow. And so once we've gotten here, I can kind of de-stress a little and like, okay, next it's just going to be pretty flat. And
welcome to the Midwest. We're pretty. We don't have to throw too much at you.
You know what? Zach is on and Kimberly's on. Woo! Oh my goodness. Kitty, also known as Lickety Glitz. Would you please show Zach and Kimberly the Lickety Glitz mobile or whatever you're calling her?
It's called the Gloria. It's named after my mother because it's also old, a little smelly, a little cantankerous, and that was all the attributes that Mom had. So
trying to get the whole. Well, actually, Kimberly is going to see this in replay because I think right now she is outside of a building in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So, and when she pops back in, I'm just going to let her talk for, she can greet you. So, and I can let her know who's on the screen. She got pulled into a live gathering. Zach, you can relate to this. It's like, we're doing this. It's a lunchtime. It's having to do with maybe the local government. She's having across the nation. We've got Kitty coming with her sister in that wonderful Gloria mobile. And the Gloria. That's right. The Queen Mary, the Gloria.
The Gloria.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Zach, you are coming. Are you a presenter at the colloquium in Roanoke, November 14, 15, 16 in Roanoke, Virginia? Are you a presenter? Are you just going to walk around smiling and hugging people? Do you have a table? What's going on?
I'm just an overjoyous attendee. I can't wait. I'm like so excited. I've been waiting for something like this. I'm just going to be going around and doing one-arm hugs and getting the chance to meet quite a few people that I know, some on LinkedIn, right? And a couple of Zoom 101s, but there's nothing like in person. Can't wait. I'm so excited.
I'm going to ask Kimberly. Kimberly, are you able to talk? Can we hear you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. What did you get pulled into? And by the way, letting you know that Laurette Foggini, Zach Demopoulos, Kitty Norton Lickety Glitz, and Jean Ross, the amazing nurse, are all on the screen. So Kimberly, tell us what you're doing right now and anything else you want to say.
Oh, thank you. And I can see all of you. So thank you so much for being here. And Jean is the amazing nurse. So that was a very good descriptor of her. Well, right now, what I'm doing is looking at the beauty.
Oh, no.
I wanted to give her a few more seconds just to see. I know she was pulled into some live person event that she really needed to attend because she is putting Roanoke on the map. Wow. And so, you know what, Laurette, you probably, I want to say you're a presenter at the colloquium. Is that right or wrong?
No, I'm not present. Not that I know of. I mean, I could always but no,
I can just see it. Laurette, come up here on the panel discussion. You've got something to say about this.
I got something to say about everything. I'm a New Yorker, so
yeah,
I got something to say about everything.
Oh, perfect.
not always appreciated, but definitely something to say.
Oh,
I appreciate
yes.
from Jersey. I appreciate you.
There you go. Thanks. Zach.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Laurette, I love your post. Kimberly, can you talk again? We'll be able to see it flashing. So she's muting for the moment. Laurette, I've seen your posts. Your mom, you have just put it out there.
Oh, thank you.
Your moments with mom, how it's going, how you're feeling. People are just putting in how they're, just uplifting you. This is real life, and somewhere in this real life, you're all coming together. I am attending virtually, so I'll just keep going. But I wanted to do this. Like 6 weeks ago, I just said, Kimberly, would this be even possible? And she goes, here, contact everybody on the list and see who's available. Well, you're all busy doing good things. You're all busy with your families, with your loved ones, being on the road. Oh my goodness. So are you in Jersey right now, Zach?
I am, and we enjoy cold weather here, so it's nice.
Yes. Woo! We finally got cold. We were up in the 80s just 2 weeks ago. So everybody, I'm out walking the dog and my breath is very foggy. I'm like, okay, it's coming. It's coming. Jean, what are you doing at the colloquium?
Yes, I'm going to be on a panel discussion about emerging technologies in the caregiving space, as well as leading, I believe, with Tina from Caring Bridge, a think tank on how to best support family caregivers that are organizing everything. So I'm just super excited to share all the things that we're doing and learning about. And just really appreciate this space because people like Laurette and Kitty, I'm so thankful as a nurse for those sharing their stories, the whole real life aspect of it. So I'll tell you right now, we as nurses and people that are leading support groups are pointing to your blogs and your honest discussion because there's so many people that are just beginning their journey and they need that guide. And I used to lead a ton of sessions in my community about dementia. And I used to point to Kitty's blog all the time, especially the humor side of dementia. And I told people, start putting more stuff like this out into the world about dementia so that when a daughter goes to Google dementia for her parent, she's seeing the truth, she's seeing the funny, she's seeing the down, and she can really start preparing what it's going to be like. So just really am thankful for this colloquium that Kimberly's put together.
Yes. And Kitty is out in the beautiful blowing Laramie. You just got muted, but Kitty, I want you to come on because you have a huge thing going on at the colloquium and then after the colloquium. And so tell us about that before you have to wave goodbye and get the Gloria going.
So my sister and I, who is also in the film, and we co-cared for my mother for 5 years. She and I are traveling cross country. I've made a documentary called Wine, Women, and Dementia. And I wanted to really focus on the family caregiver in dementia. So that's what we've done. We last fall, we went around the country and interviewed 5 people who had become really good virtual friends because we were all going through this journey together. And we would just open a couple of bottles of wine and we got the camera crew set up and we'd sit and just tell our stories. And it has turned out to be a road picture. It's turned out to be a friend's picture. It's turned out to be a caregiver story. It's turned out to be funny and horrible and sad. And, it's dementia. If it's a movie about dementia, somebody dies in the end and it's usually who you think. So, it's got everything in it. And what I'm doing is my sister and I now are kind of doing that same cross-country trip, and we're going to preview a 30-minute, actually 28 minutes of the film at the Care Colloquium on Monday night, November 14th. So just...
Well, that's worth it right there for me to be in virtually because I will be, I will have my Kleenex and my popcorn and my wine. and I'll be able to watch and go, oh, yes. Oh, I only know this from being a caregiver hired into, it's close to 100 different homes over the years.
Wow.
And, you know, 80s, 90s, hundreds, I had everything from the person who would just talk and sing with me and then sleep a lot, to the person who's very much looking for something they need to do, and I'm just trying to keep a warm coat on them as they are headed out the house, you know. So I'm so glad that you did that. You're so glad that you did that. And you got to be with those people face to face after supporting each other
That
online.
was the impetus for the film. I knew I was going to do that anyway. After Mom died, I'm like, I want to go meet these 5 people. I want to tell them how wonderful they've been to me. And then it was like, well, if I'm going to do that, why don't I get, a little bit of a budget together and hire a camera crew and make a documentary? Maybe other people will want to see a movie that's really focused on what the entire picture of dementia is like. You can't get a diagnosis and then cry for the next 10 years. You got to have some life in it. So that's what I wanted to show people. This is the way we got through dementia. However, you're getting through dementia. If it's working, keep doing it. But this is how we.
She's on screen. The real Kimberly. Go, Kim, go.
This week, I ain't getting knocked down this week. I'm all about tackling some challenges. You throw something at me, I'm just going to kick it back at you this week. So
I'm very impressed.
I'm in illegal Wi-Fi, and we're making it happen.
I get knocked down.
Hey, you guys, I got to roll because we got to get on the road. But Kimberly, I can't wait to hear the rest. And anyway, I'm so excited to meet all of you. And I'm sorry, I got to go. But
be careful. Drive carefully.
See you Monday. See y'all Monday.
Bye. Now, let me show you guys what I'm looking at. I'm in downtown Roanoke. This is the beautiful city that you guys are going to get to come participate in the Care Colloquium. I'm on a rooftop right now at a tea for a legal aid society. So smoozing with some people who also care about care, and seeing if we can grab some extra leaders. And I keep thinking that it's the Justice League, and I've been calling it, I'm going to a tea for the Justice League all week. And then get clicked like, nope, those are superheroes. These are attorneys.
Love it.
So what have you guys talked about as far as the Care Colloquium so far?
The movie that will be previewed Monday evening.
Isn't that incredible?
Yes. And she described how it evolves. So you're going to see this all in replay anyway, and it'll be posted out and everybody can share it. Zach is like, I just get to be there. One-arm hugs. Everyone gets one-arm hugs.
Zach, I think, is going to be everyone's new best friend.
Hey, easy over there. Knock you down. I'm not. I still have that song going through my head because you said that. I love it.
No.
I want to be
my goodness.
Friend. I'm really stoked. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've got nothing to sell. I've got nothing, really to promote. I'm really into friend working. That's my latest term. Networking is important, but friend working is what I'm really going to focus on. Right. Friend working to me is what exactly you're pulling together, Kimberly. It's collaborating.
Oh, thank you.
It's like hanging out with people, so that you're not trying to sell something or trying to get something. You're trying to figure out stuff together. In the future we can do some stuff together. So you're right. I'm gonna be everybody's best friend.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, 18 months ago when I started the journey to pull this together, and Jean, you were one of the first people I sat down and was like, I have this idea, and you're like, do it. My vision was I just wanted to get these big leaders that we saw their names, we saw their organizations, they were doing what looked like really big things, and I wanted to get them in the same place at the same time and be like, okay, here's a challenge. Supporting caregivers in the workforce is not going well. We're struggling to make that happen. You guys have broken into the field some. Tell us how you got there, what's going on, and how can we make that better? And that was my vision. And where we are now is this is the beginning of an ecosystem. Like, I have really fine-tuned this to, from now on, we have a dialogue with each other. Leaders are going to start talking to each other, connecting, collaborating, and helping each other thrive. Like, if Jean and I can collaborate and my business gets better and hers gets better because we're doing something together, who benefits? The families. Because now care's better, right? If I can collaborate with the Rosalind Carter Institute for Caregivers on something, we're all helping caregivers more. Tracy's working with people all over the US and in South Africa. If we can work on stuff together, everybody's, like, we can make care better if we're talking to each other, because we're not doing a good job at that right now. And that's what this is about now. Like, we are building an ecosystem. This is long term. We're playing the long game now, and I'm so excited about that.
In Jersey, we call you a freaking visionary.
I've been called freaking a lot of things.
I've been mad a couple of days. Freaking do this, freaking do that. Absolutely.
Oh, Tracy, before you came in, I don't know if you were able to hear, but Jean was telling Laurette, thank you for putting your moments with mom out there so that we could support her. And she's been pushing out to everyone going, we need to just talk about everything about it, all the good, all the horrible. You just make it normal talk. I'm such a proponent of this. So Kimberly, thank you for my opportunity to have all of you.
Hey, you're a part of it now. You can't get out.
That's
and
right. That's right.
Society. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So Tracy, since you're on, and I want to get to what Laurette does, because I think she was Laurette, were you in pigtails in one of those pictures?
Yeah, I was channeling my inner Lola from the book.
Yes.
Up at her for a book launch recently.
Good. I'm thinking of the right person. I loved that. Tracy,
I can do it right now and just
yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. I'm glad you're keeping your long hair. Tracy, I'm kind of like, I know she does something, and she's the only one or the first one who has a thing that people can see, and I haven't pursued it. So tell me why I need to go and look into this.
Okay, I have kind of a crazy journey. Kimberly knows it.
Good.
Kimberly and I have known each other for a while, and she kind of knows about the part that got kind of emotional and crazy, and because it had to kind of stop and start and stop and kind of,
That's what startup is, and we've all been there, Tracy. That's a part of your story now. It's a part of your story.
True enough. I started my journey with my company back in 2019. My background is in legal. I owned my own recruiting business for a while, and then I started with hospice, and I was with hospice for about 15 years. And during that time, I saw what I felt like was kind of a crazy idea, that I really didn't feel like there was a place for caregivers to be able to actually have kind of like a one-stop shop. Basically be able to actually speak to somebody on the phone, say, this is what's going on with my mom or my dad. And are there companies out there that can help me? I mean, there were a lot of companies that had blogs and had lists and had, whatever, but actually being able to speak to somebody and actually talk and whatever, there really was nothing. And I kind of thought that was insane. So in 2019, I'd gotten divorced, and I just decided I was completely broke. And I just decided I'm going to go ahead and try and start this crazy thing. And I started it kind of with locally and with webinars, and saw that it kind of was working fairly well. By 2021, I had gotten some traction. I won an international award. I was named from the International Federation for the Advancement of Healthcare. I was named one of the top 100 healthcare visionaries in the world. And so that was really kind of crazy. So I went to accept that award, and I got conducted on an international level with several different international companies. So I actually owned I own the trademark. I'm actually trademarked as the Angie's List, for lack of a better term, for people who take care of loved ones at home worldwide. And so I have an international directory of companies that offer products and services to caregivers. And so that's how it started. And I am the middle child, older sister, younger brother. My older sister died 15 years ago in a car crash. My younger brother died 4 years ago from alcoholism. And so I was taking care of my parents through COVID. And in September of 21, both of them got sick. And so I had to basically and I hadn't made any money on my business yet. So I had to put my whole business basically on hold for 9 months. And so when my dad passed away in February, and I still take care of my mom and the dog. And so when my dad passed away, I found out that my dad had no retirement, no savings, no anything. And when I was talking to Kimberly about this, she goes, "You should have called me." I'm like, I know. But you know, when you're in it and you're way deep in it, like I was with both of them, I just, you know, even though I knew some of my resources, I was not thinking clearly. And so I didn't think about it until after the fact. But so like April, we literally only got like $5,000 from my dad's death. And my mom was literally getting $1,600 a month from the Social Security Administration. And mom came to me and she goes, "I want you to go all in with your dad. You're with your business. Dad would want you to do that." So I did. And in the next 100 days, we became a referring company for the federal government for the state of Florida. We're pushing out to Alabama, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia in the next 60 days. I got a radio show based out of Palm Beach County, Florida. It's on every Saturday morning. Hits 150,000 people. Very targeted audience, all seniors. And I get on there. I do that show with a lady named Miriam. She talks about Medicaid and Medicare. I talk about resources for caregivers. I just landed the only TV show that's going to be in mass media about caregivers. It's going to be called Caregiving Worldwide. It's actually going to be on Roku and Hulu and Amazon Fire and Apple TV. And they've actually told me that if it goes well, which we all believe that it will, then I'm actually going to get a whole network of shows, and we're going to do it in the Latin field, and we're going to do it for veterans, and we're going to do it for a lot of different types of people. And then I am in South Africa. I actually connected with a company in South Africa. We are now building smart caregiving centers in all 9 provinces in South Africa. So any companies that connect with me that want to get their products or their services, we have apps that are being downloaded into South Africa, products that are being imported. That actually launched on October 28th, which is insane. And last but not least, if that's not enough, I am actually hosting 2 global events of my own next year. Kimberly and I, when she first started saying that she was going to do this, I was like, "Oh, you're going to do this? Okay, well, I'm kind of thinking about it, but I'm, so we both kind of went through and my thing was that I have a lot of different kinds of companies that I work with, and they all say things to me like, "Oh, I never knew a company like that existed." And I'm like, "Yeah." And so I was like, we all just need to kind of get in the same room and we all just need to chat. So in May of next year, I am having my first global event in Tampa. There's going to be 350 attendees worldwide. It is going to be live stream televised. There are going to be red carpet interviews and all of that kind of fun stuff. And then in Vegas next year, that's the super ambitious one. That's going to be at the Venetian, and that one's going to be 1,200 attendees worldwide. That one's also going to be live streamed. And Merrill Hodge, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, NFL, ESPN analyst, he's going to be my keynote speaker. So yeah, I have a lot on my plate, but it's a beautiful thing. I absolutely love what I do. I love helping people. I love helping companies to grow. And so it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey for me.
When's the Venetian event?
It's in August 14th through the 17th.
Awesome. Kimberly, was there ever a point where you thought, "Nah, I'm not going to do this. This is crazy"?
No, not a point where I thought I'm not going to do this. There's been a point in the past 7 days where I thought it might not happen, though. We got hit up with a surprise financial challenge that put the entire thing at risk. It was, if you don't pay us by this Friday, we aren't going to let you have your event. Completely unexpected, blindsided me. I actually went in last Wednesday when I woke up. I was staring down a $30,000 bill that if it didn't get paid, I didn't know what I was going to do to all these incredible people to say, like, don't get on your flights. Like, that's a realistic thing that happens when you're event planning.
Okay.
I just went at it. I've been hustling. I've like, you know what? I've built this network of people that are talking now, like, leverage it, Kim. So I just reached out and I'm like, who do you know? I know there's money out there and people that care about this, and we want to make it super accessible. And honestly, it's been people that can give $250 here or $500 there that want to be leaders and sponsors in this, and we've knocked it out in 7 days.
It's awesome.
It's
Congratulations.
crazy. So we are putting this on ourselves, guys. Like, that's the power of these leaders that are like, oh yeah, like this isn't going to break it. Like, we're totally coming. This is happening. So I want to plug the virtual experience because I know this is happening Monday and travel is like off the plate for a lot of people. You can't book travel. You don't want to come on short notice, but we have a virtual experience. We have completely designed it to be accessible to where, like, you can participate and engage in it when you have time and when you want to. So it's not going to impact your schedule next week. You'll just keep up with what's going on with us as we're doing the in-person part, but there's going to be think tanks that you can, like, just like we're talking on video now, you can contribute to a think tank, record your video and say, hey, this is what I think about this thing that you guys are talking about. And we can keep that going past the event. There'll be recordings that you'll get access to that you can watch anytime you want. You get the list of all these leaders to network with, connect with, send emails, figure out how to collaborate with, and then you are automatically in the whole care network, which is on the other side of the care colloquium. And that's where, for the whole year of 2023, you get to be part of masterminds and think tanks and a speakers bureau. So we're putting leaders out there to talk and disseminate about these big challenges that we're figuring out how to overcome together, and other stuff as we create it, right? So be a part of that. It's super easy and accessible, and we want to grab all the stakeholders and put them in there. But I'm going to have to get back to the Justice League now. But thank you for letting
Mask up.
So thank you for letting me be on. I will watch the rest of this recording and share it like crazy today.
Now we know why Kimberly is up on the roof, because she's going to put one fist out and flick her cape and go,
come out.
Don't put something in that tea, okay?
Good for her. I'm so happy for her.
No, it was super inspiring. So Kimberly and I are both part of the National Daughterhood Network. So we have circles, respective circles, but Ann Tomlinson, who leads that, gets us all together on a call, which is, I think, kind of a little bit of what, Kimberly's doing. This is like on a small scale, getting a lot of thought leaders talking about caregiving. And Kimberly, her and I started connecting just because we kind of, same thing with Kitty, just this, when you have that same sense of humor or same perspective of how things should be in this care economy, you just instantly gravitate towards people. And it's just been an honor to be like, I remember when she first gave this idea, she's like, this is what I'm thinking. And I'm like, you should absolutely do this. Because anyone that's trying to start a business, what I've seen over and over in this industry is either you have suffered this problem, or you are working in some capacity where you see the system is not solving it. And so you go out on your own because you have this brilliant idea. But when you go out on your own to try to do this, it becomes very lonely and it becomes very hard to get it off the ground because there's so many people to connect with. So what Kimberly has done is basically create a 3-day experience where that took me 2 years to build that network and understand the thought leaders and the perspectives of all these different organizations. And so it's just been an honor. And we have done quarterly check-ins. And I mean, I'm on anyone that has a new idea or a new thing they're doing is on a journey So Kimberly's been moments where she's bolstered me up in the things that I'm doing. And then there's been moments where we've been on calls and I'm like, it'll figure it out. Like this has to happen. Like there's no one else that's going to take this on. And so it's been just, I don't know, I'm just already inspired by the people on this call, but I cannot stress enough how much we need to thank Kimberly when we see her, and maybe buy lots of rounds of alcohol.
Wine, women and men, and
exactly,
dementia,
right,
and everything that comes in on this. Wait a minute, Lola is underage, so she won't be part of that.
Yeah,
but Lorette,
you can drink.
Lorette, you know what? I won't touch my screen because it's a touch screen. But Lorette, there we go. She was one arm hugging a person that I have written in this black book right here of people I want to meet because I'm all about aging. And she is standing. No, is that you? Was that someone else? No, nope. Never mind. Okay. I'm getting all my people. I'm getting all my network mixed up.
I was
Who was
near
what?
Hugging a lot of people. But
who was I? I'm sorry. I totally blew it right there. That is typical.
That's
typical
okay.
me.
I do a lot of.
I sent half of you the wrong link to even get on this. This is just me. I'm still trying. This is my aging enthusiasm just going. Bleh. When I post this out, I will make sure that the link for people to attend virtually is on the replay post. And I will put in something I didn't realize until this moment. And that is, you are on for 2023 think tanks connecting on a completely different level. You're just as in as the ones who get to sit at those tables next to each other and just talk and go, well, I don't know. Let me flip open my device and let's look at this. And oh my goodness, didn't you say such and such? And if I was there in reality, I would probably just be going, oh, you're the one who did. And they're like, no, that was that other person over there. Oh, okay, thank you. Because I would just be too excited for the first 2 days anyway. But talking about Lola, did you think Lola wasn't going to happen, or did you just always want it? Did you will her into existence? And who and what is Lola?
So that's very funny. So I've been writing children's stories now. I'm realizing for a while because I just took a bunch out here at home, at my childhood home, and since Mom has, her short-term memory, she keeps on forgetting that she's read them over and over again. So we keep on reading them, which is great. But I've been writing children's stories as just a fun thing to do, and Lola's about caregiving because that's a space I've been in for a while, both professionally and personally. And it's really talking a lot about multi-generational caregiving and incorporates themes like acceptance and diversity. And, all of our backgrounds are so. Lola's grandmother, who develops dementia, is a Russian Jewish immigrant. So it talks about a little bit of her struggle coming here, why she came here. Lola's mother is married to a woman who is African-American. So it incorporates a lot of themes that are important to me. And I wrote it because it was during COVID and I was working, managing a team in the home care industry. And we were just, struggling to get people to go into homes and all of the exposures. And it really was, it's a love story, but it's also is dedicated to professional caregivers. And one of the stars of the show is a caregiver who connects and teaches Lola how to connect with her grandmother in this new stage of who she is. And so she goes back and learns the Yiddish song that they sang together. So that's what Lola's about. And there's going to be, unfortunately, it's not going to be out for this conference. I just wrote another one, and it's for my brother who hasn't heard the final version yet. And is in the other room, but it's called The True Tale of a Caregiver Superhero, because my brother is that, and he has been doing most of it for both of my parents for many years, and I've just recently stepped up after he asked for my help. But he is the caregiver superhero. So that's another children's book, and that's the real story. But I'm working with the same illustrator, and so she was here actually this morning, and my brother had to be interviewed. It's like, is the interview over? And so but it's a universal story. And it's funny, I do know a lot of male caregiver superheroes right now. So it's really written for them, and talks about, how he came to be a hero, from just your boy who was kind of getting in trouble, and then found it in his heart and what was really important and special. So that's there's Lola, and then there's my brother. So
I love it, Laura. Like, what I'm thinking about is like the Christmas is coming. Like, what a cool gift to get. Like, if you have a caregiver that takes care of a family member that you just want to show appreciation, what a cool gift to share and write a sweet message, or a sibling that you just don't know how to express how much you appreciate them taking that primary caregiver role. Like, especially if it's a brother, because that's, it's 70% are women, but there's still 30% that are not. So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I said to him I was going to buy him a cape, which I did actually buy a caregiver superhero.
I love it.
And he said, don't get a cape, write me a story instead, because I've been, writing them for a while for different people. So I said, okay, challenge accepted. And then, and then I read the first version to him, and he's not usually one that gives me we don't hug that much. And he started crying and came over and just gave me a really tight hug. So yeah.
I love that you're focusing on the male caregiver. Obviously, I'm biased, but I am too. I just love that, and I got to tell you, I ran a home care agency for 13 years, and yes, every time the phone rang, which was always an intake, was always a female, whether it was a granddaughter, a sister-in-law, a wife. But I have to say, the last 15, 16 months, I've sold my business, and now I'm looking to become more of a caregiver advocate, and so. The last 15, 16 months, I have spoken to strangers from LinkedIn, and I have to say over half have been men, and they're like absolutely clueless, because we really suck at caregiving. But I got to tell you, if men can't relate, to somebody else, it's even a bigger struggle. So I love that you're doing that. I can't wait to read it. Can't wait to read it. Yeah.
It makes me think of all the people who just, if I have a bias, it's about young people. And I think, well, this isn't in their realm. And I was right across the street. We have a hotel across the street from our apartment. And I mentioned what I'm into. And here's this, I don't know, 22-year-old, I'm going to say, and she's going, I wished I had known about that when I was losing my mom. And so, and someone else going, I started doing everything for grandma when I was 12. And I just thought I'm the only person in the world. And I'm like, this is just, cool. So it has sent me on a trajectory of making sure that this becomes part of education at least the high school level, of just understanding caregiving, what it takes, that there are resources, that you are not alone. These kids have devices at age 12 to know that you could get into a clubhouse where there's a safe situation where you can just go, I don't like this. I don't even get to have fun because I'm doing this because it's only me and one other person that are available for in one situation, my grandmother, who now has gone back to her native language. So who can even provide for her, because that's where her memory is. And so it's only me and this other family member that can even communicate, just to know that there's someone else listening. Daughterhood Circles does that. It's like someone else is listening. I've been on some of those with Kiki Reef, and having one person go, I just heard the word hospice. Does anybody know anything? and having someone else go, wait a minute, there's books about that. And I'm throwing that into the chat, for these people. So this is what's happening at the colloquium, November 14, 15, 16, this coming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is that people are going to be able to say, oh my goodness, this is my passion. This is what happened to me. This is what I see is needed. This is what I'm trying to do. And someone else is going, you know what? I already know somebody that you need to get a hold of, or you and I need to continue with this. So I'm so glad that Kimberly has the vision to say this needs to go on into 2023. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. So, oh, thank you.
One of the reasons I started my business, and I'm sure all of you feel the same way, is that, after working in hospice for a really long time, I saw that there was so much education that needed to be done. So many people don't understand it, hospice on any kind of level. I didn't either until I started working with them, honestly. It's like palliative care. People hear that word, they have no idea what palliative care is. I didn't either, honestly, until I started working with one of the best palliative care physicians in the world. And it was funny when I did the interview with her, I said, can you just tell me what palliative care is? Because honestly, I have no clue. And so, I didn't find out about it until then either. And so there's so much education that needs to be done for so many people. People equate hospice with death. I know I did. That's just kind of the misnomer, and it's an enormous misnomer. My father was on hospice for 2 full years, and I tell people that in there, and he was on it 3 different times, and he was on it for 2 years, and then he was on it for 3 months, and people kind of look at me like, what? And there has to be a conversation there. You have to come to know and understand about hospice, because there's very definitely an education process there. And it's the same thing with palliative care. And, and talking about younger people, again, that's one reason why I love all these different things that everybody does, because there's so many different things that you can use to educate people. I mean, like there's an app now out called Evermore, and it actually helps Gen Zers, because they start their life with social media, and their whole thought process is tied up in social media. How many likes do I have? How many, thumbs up do I have? All this stuff. And they don't know how to relate to real life. And then when they have to start dealing with mental health or, caregiving or whatever, they really just don't have a clue about it. And so that particular app actually helps walk them through that process, and so there's all kinds of different things out there that can help so many different people on so many different levels. And that's why I think it's fantastic that Kimberly's bringing all these different people together, and to be able to kind of have everybody share their wealth of knowledge to as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's so well said, Tracy. I think so for so long we've been operating these silos. Like Zach, I was in the home care business for 14 years, and it was all about revenue. Let's make contacts with people that can refer clients to us. And then, of course, the struggle of getting caregivers. And then that we would be approached by technology companies that we weren't talking to, that were coming out, that had products that were already available, and said, try it in the homes. We're like, well, I don't know if that's a need, so it's just, that's what I think is so cool. Like, let's talk about what the issues are and then come up with the solutions, versus having people operating in all these different silos and then trying to fit together.
Absolutely.
Amen to that. I got to say, again, I've been blessed the last 15, 16 months. I haven't had to hold the job down. That's not lasting too long. Got to go back to work next year. But I've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of caregiver advocates one-on-one. Christine, I've had the honor of sitting and talking with her and others. I have realized it's exactly it's fragmented, and there's reasons for that. As I was listening to Tracy's story, and by the way, I'm so sorry about your siblings. If you listen to her story, how many Tracys are out there? There's a million of us out there that we've got either a story, an experience. I love what you said, Jean, about stories, because stories today, those are the most powerful things we have. And I can only imagine the millions of stories that are going to be going on next week under that roof. But think about, we're all kind of sitting in our little silos. How do we figure out a way to try to, connect and help with others and not try to do this on our own? Tracy, you're figuring it out, and I'm exhausted just listening to all the stuff you were doing. But I'll say this one more thing. I'm looking at next week as this. In New Jersey, we have a saying, and it's very male chauvinistic, so don't take it wrong, but it's like, I have a guy for this. I have a guy for that, right?
Right.
So if I don't offend anybody, I'll just go ahead and add, I have a gal for this. I have a gal. Well, I'm looking at next week taking that to the exponential level so that the next time you're talking to someone one-on-one, I'm like, hey, I have a person for that. Hey, I know a person for that. I know a person for that, because of all the people we're going to meet. And I think that's going to help start the waves, in my opinion.
I totally agree. I think the way that we can keep helping people, and because I think, when I worked with hospice, we used to say everybody had a hospice heart. You had to have a hospice heart in order to be able to work at hospice, because you have to have compassion for people. And that was the saying, and I worked actually in HR for 3 years. And so we would always say, okay, they had a hospice heart. And then it was like, no, they don't, because you just could tell, that was the reality of the situation. And I do believe everybody that is in this caregiver space, they all have what we would all consider a hospice heart, because we all have strong passion for the people that we're caring for. And so, and it shows, because we're all willing to do, okay, yeah, I'll go the extra mile, I'll do whatever I need to do, yes, I'll work with you. We'll figure it out, because we all want to do what we need to do, which is helping other people. And I think that's the main goal for all of us.
And Anderson Simfukwe is talking about in Zambia. And I'm so glad that he came in. I don't know who he knows in this room, but I know I've had opportunity to reach out to him. And Victoria Lubriel McCullough has just been echoing and applauding what she is hearing. I wanted to say those names out loud for anyone who's listening on replay and not able to see what we are seeing right now. Oh my goodness. I did not want to stop this. I realize everyone's got things going on. There was a person who just sent me a message. They have a child at the doctor and, getting messages and has to focus elsewise. Another person sent me a message this morning going, on day 12 of being sick, trying to get well, because really want to go to the colloquium. And I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, there's so much coming at that point. And I keep seeing, that movie where the kids figure out, and it's real people, they figure out how to blast a little rocket up at the coal mine slag, and that everything is like pointing to this little tiny part. And yay for Kimberly for going $30,000. That is not going to, that can't stop this. That cannot stop this. So whoosh, all these people who are agreeing with you, who are agreeing with each other, who are throwing in their 250s and their 1000s to make sure that this happens, because it isn't stopping there. It's not a one and done and she gets to wipe her brow and go, phew, well, that was fun. This is ongoing, and everyone who's involved in this has a passion story that has just pushed them along. Tracy, you said it. We want to help someone. We want to help people. This is going to continue on. We're looking at 2030 and 2050 as being the tipping point, the fulcrum. Everything goes this direction of more people who will have needs, and there will be resources for those needs. How do we bring the people with the needs and the resources together, and how do they find it? I'm so excited. I'm so excited, and I'm only going virtually. Oh, bless all of you. Does anyone have one last thing that they want to say, and then we'll wave goodbye?
Well, I wanted to just say one thing. I was looking at 2 conferences in a 2-week span, and I couldn't do both of them because of just the caregiving role here. And one was a very organized, format. I won't mention names, but it's been going on for years, and I kind of knew exactly what the format would look like. And the other was the Care Colloquium, which is much more difficult for me to get to because I'm in New York and I got to, so, but I was like, hands down, this one, just because I feel like it is more organic. And I think it's going to be without that same, networking structure. I think it's really cool. I said to someone just the other day, I'm so impressed by what she and this group has been able to do through LinkedIn. I mean, it's all through LinkedIn, and it's just putting, I think everyone on this call, certainly, and a lot of people I've seen are really putting their personalities out there, their stories out there, and being vulnerable and being real. Like one of my friends on one of the posts I did initially about the night I had to make this decision. It's like, gosh, I can't believe I had to read it on it. I don't approve or something about using social media. And I said, but that is my business. That's what I do, and by sharing, it's elicited so many people from so many different walks of life, exactly as someone had said. Everyone's on this. It's not just being in the business that you're on that journey. It either happened to you, or it's happening to you, or it's going to happen to you. So yeah, I'm really excited, and everything, knock on wood, looks good here at home. Mom's pretty stable, so I'm gonna drive. Lola and I are driving down on Sunday with one of my best friends from high school who happens to live in Charlottesville, Virginia, and we're coming. I had to make her a little smaller though. I couldn't figure out I'd get her and her house in the car. So
you want to pick me up on the way? I got to take 2 flights there. You want to pick me up?
I'll drive you back on the way. Actually, I'm taking the train, but yeah, no, sorry.
I'm flying from Florida, and I couldn't fly into Roanoke, so I'm flying to Raleigh, North Carolina, driving 3 hours north, and then going to Roanoke, and so then I think coming back on Thursday. So yeah, and I'm leaving my 83-year-old mother alone with the dog, which is a little bit disconcerting. But I've got good friends and church people that are like, okay, you guys all kind of watch mom for me while I'm out of town for 5 days.
Wow.
So, it's kind of like, this is the first time I've left really for any kind of extended length of time since my father died. So, but wow. She knows how important it is to me, and she knows that I really need to go. And because Kimberly had asked me a while, way back, can you speak and can you come and can you be on panels? And I'm like, yes. So, there was no way I wasn't going to attend. And so anyway, but it should be great. It should be really awesome. And I'm really, really looking forward to it.
No, just the stories of everyone making the time to get there. It just shows the value of it. I'm me and another gal, Regina Smith, who helps co-lead the Daughterhood Circle and who starting her own business and wanting to connect. As we're driving 8 hours from Indiana.
Wow.
Everyone's going 8 hours. It's so fun.
I know.
Yeah. I do got to say one thing at the risk of being a brown noser of the group. Christine, I can't thank you enough for what you do. The fact that you're not going to be there, I have to say, is probably one of the low points of the week, and the only one, because you got so much freaking energy. I have to say, in this life, there are people that are called connectors, and you're amazing at that. And you bring people together, and you just you're awesome. And the fact that you're not going to be there, can we just come to your house then? Where are you? What's the deal?
Where are you at, Christine? And then, hey, Zach, here you go. Right here.
Where do you live?
Okay. Hey, I could have, leaped into the Gloria because I am 1 hour south of Portland, which is where Kitty Norton took off from. And I even thought about that. I was like, wow, this could be a caravan, a reverse Oregon Trail, people
you gotta come to my event in Vegas. You could drive to Vegas. You got to come to my event in Vegas, and we can meet in Vegas at the Venetian.
Oh, that's right, August. Yes,
August of next year. Drive to Vegas. Come to the Venetian.
My heart is full. I'm so grateful. I'm also very grateful to my hubby producer who I was really good at keeping it to half an hour. And I'm like, no, not yet. No, this is good. Wait. Okay, now I'll stop the show. And then I said, does anyone have one more thing? And I'm like, oh, that was so necessary. She said organic, because organic soil just grows. Things just grow out of it. And that's what's going to happen there is this organic, this not tightly structured, she said, this whole idea is for you guys to get together so you can continue on. It isn't just another trade show. It's not just another, we got to get in our CEUs. So I guess I'll go listen to what's going on there. And then I get that signed off and get back to work. Yay! I love all of this. I love it. And I love connecting people. And only 10% of what I do is brilliant. People have to put up with the other 90%, but it's worth it for that 10%. So I'm going to say to my husband, do you have that music queued up for us to start waving goodbye to each other? I'm hoping it's still in there. I know he got on the phone. There it is.
Yeah. This was going to be a party. Get the music, get the hats on and the beverages.
I don't have anything party-like. I have water. Well, folks, it's been real. Have a great time.
We will see you all next week.
Only 5 more days. Watch for the Gloria to come in. Watch for Minnie Lola to come in. Watch for Tracy, who will be on her phone going, "You doing okay, Mom? Good. Okay. Good. How's the dog? Okay."
That's true. That's true.
Bye. Bye. I'm so glad you all came today.